Oh, I hear the voice of my ancestors calling me. I hear the voice of my ancestors calling me. Wake up, they say wake up, listen, listen, listen,
Hi everyone, this is
listen.
Stephanie Burns, the founder of the Business
May
of
the
My Art. We're
rivers
continuing our
all
conversation
flow
with Dr. Geryll Robinson,
clean.
aka Dr. G
May the
Love, the visionary space
mountains
holder for
be
SoulShifting Retreats. That's
unspoiled. May the air
www.soulshiftingretreats.com.
be
And this is part
pure.
2 of
May
our
the
interview. Welcome
trees
back, Dr.
grow
G Love.
tall. May
Thank
the
you. It's a pleasure to be
earth
back.
be
So you mentioned
shed
that you're going to do
out.
something different for the September retreat than you are in June and December. So let's talk a little bit about that. What can people expect in September?
Okay, so we have the 2 solstice retreats. It is super traditional throughout the globe to work the solstices. Summer and winter solstice has to do with the alignment of the planet, the way in which we're aligned with the sun, the moon, and the ways in which the energy is moving through the planet. They're very open portal times for us to do work, and we do very fruitful work during solstices. We also do very fruitful work just moving through an equinox period right now, and that's when the planet's very balanced, when people are experiencing, everyone feels like they're with the equator, experiencing half the day light, half the day dark. It's a great time for balance. In September, for the equinox, I am calling forward a select group of visionary souls to do this harmonizing work around all of our racial disharmony. Coming from the Americas, this is important because we understand that we stand on the backs of those who raised us, those who came before us.
Yeah.
And this seed of disharmony that is moving through the planet translates out to the disharmony that's harming the planet, going back to the air, the water, and the trees, how we compartmentalized ourselves and see ourselves as different. Clearly, our ancestors had that belief system, and they haven't been properly processed or ancestralized. A lot of people are carrying ancestral shame. A lot of people are carrying ancestral rage, ancestral grief.
Yes.
And that grief is dragging many members of all races, specifically from the United States, people from European background, people from African background, people from indigenous backgrounds, into depressions, into real mental, emotional imbalances. And it will not resolve itself with time, without some of us doing the necessary work to resolve the dissonance in our ancestry. And using indigenous technology, belief systems, and this is the good part, we don't have to carry the judgment in. We can do that work. We can open those portals and ancestralize our ancestors so that they're no longer vexing us, frankly. We need them to fully process over to the other side and become, universal particles and go into the great mystery, because that's all I don't know. It's the great mystery. And when that consciousness of these ancestors are released, it stops vexing us as a society. It certainly stops vexing us as individuals. And so I'm really calling, and this is where I'm really calling people of Europe to come together and do that work, because a lot of ancestor work of European religions, belief systems, and spiritual practices, and that's not what's happening with a lot of people who are practicing from European descent, even people who are practicing this kind of spiritual work. And those continue to vex and continue to create distance and confusion. And we need to, those of us who can, come together in that portal. And we have an open portal here at the equator that we cultivated in 2016 to ancestralize during our Greek rituals and during our other rituals. And so Camila and I are guided to hold that space. I at first was going to say, should we only have people of European descent? And Sakara said, no, it should be open, just like the June and December retreats are open. It should be open, learn to co-create. If we're working on behalf of the coming 7 generations, then we obviously are going to have to get out of our current paradigm, our mental state. And that's different than denying trauma.
Right.
It's different than denying anything. It's the opposite. It's surrendering to the facts. The facts we don't like, but we have to surrender to them, move forward, so that our beautiful little children, our nieces, our nephews, grandchildren, children that we have, children that are coming, these ancestors that are reincarnating, can pursue their own liberation without us throwing these old paradigms at them and saying, well, you got to stay in this lane. You know, this lane is going to, you know, come for you and shoot you down, and this lane is going to do this to you. We need to give them space to show us what we need to learn from them.
Yeah.
And that is the purpose of the September retreat. The September retreat is very close to my heart, and I am truly calling in a select group of like-spirited souls to do this critical, important work in September. That's September 20th to 24th, 2017 in Puerto Lopez, Ecuador. And the work will be supported and loving.
Yeah.
It will not be social work. It's not going to be social justice work.
Right.
It's spiritual work.
Yes.
This is just indigenous technologies that we've overlooked because of the way everything got lost.
Yeah.
It's doing what is supposed to be done. This is very old-fashioned, frankly. It's not new. We're doing it new because we're new people, but it's an old-fashioned technology. We need to ancestralize, we need to resolve, and we need to create an open allows us room to truly evolve, expand, and move forward.
Now, how many people can attend at one time? So for the June, December, as well as September, how many spaces do you have for people?
20.
20. So for each one, so if you're called to attend either the June, September, or December retreat, don't wait. She can only hold 20. I know in December we had 20. And so, and people who attended last year are planning on going back, going this year. So I wouldn't wait. Definitely, how can they get in touch with you or learn more about the retreat?
At SoulShiftingRetreats.com could be an email. Do check out SoulShiftingRetreats.com. We have a beautiful website, which has been co-created by the Soul Shifting community.
Yes.
It's up to date, it looks great, and it answers a lot of questions about travel, cost, whatever needs to happen, payment plans, etc. But more importantly, it just really gives a feeling, I feel like the aesthetic.
Right. Payment, I want to just kind of speak on this for a second, because I know a lot of people, you know, may say, hey, I don't know if I have the money, I want to come. It's you know, it's worth the ask, but you do accept payment. So you'll do a payment plan. And so what I would encourage people is try to plan ahead. So if you can't attend the June, give yourself to December. She could take payment plans, so you could pay something every month if you need to. Get sponsors. I know that a part of the community, we're going to try, and it probably won't happen this year, but next year looking to maybe get some scholarships. So if you're out there and if this is something you want to invest in, and perhaps you yourself can't attend, but you want other people to attend, and you want to invest, go to the website, connect with Dr. G. We'll open that to you as well, because this is how we as a community do things. We're here for each other. We help each other. And so if you're out there saying, hey, I got 5 on it for someone, then by all means do that, because it'll be well received. So let's, so I just wanted to say that. So let's shift a little bit. So SoulShifting Retreats, June, the dates in June is June
18th to 22nd.
18th to the 22nd.
And December 18th to 22nd.
In December 18th through 22nd. And September was September 20th
to 24th.
Through 24th. 2017. So please schedule your, reserve your spot, SoulShiftingRetreats.com. So now let's shift a little bit, because I want to talk to you a little bit about you. We know you are holding space for these retreats. We also know you're a holistic healer, but you're also an artist. And so talk to us a little bit about the other things that you do. And oftentimes we put things on hold to focus on birthing some babies. But I think the biggest thing about really loving us and accepting us is all parts of us. And what makes us so really great is all the different parts that just come together to make us who we are. So, artists, what kind of work do you do or have you done?
I am a writer, playwright, and a prose author. I work a lot in memoir, sort of maybe a genre that is known to be like a magical realism memoir, because my life is like a magical realism memoir, although it really is my nature is to have an interdimensional view. So, as a younger person, I wasn't raised to this kind of work. I wasn't raised to even be able to access this kind of work. So what resonated the most with me were two things as a young person. Healing. So I thought I wanted to be a doctor, which I did become one.
Yes.
But in my mind, an allopathic doctor, that's all I knew of. And I did go to college, pre-med. And I got there, and I fell madly in love with the professors of the theater department. I always did performance in high school and before that, but I really fell in love with theater and ended up getting a theater degree.
Nice.
Yeah, my professors at Smith College in the theater department were brilliant. They were visionaries, and they were all operating in a really energetically powerful location. They were creating magic on the stage, and they trained us to be deeply rooted in our history.
Yeah.
Follow the history of theater. When you go deeper into the history of theater, that's where I very first was introduced to Orisha. A class led by Andrea Hairston, brilliant writer, playwriting class. And, she started her playwriting class with a drum circle so that we could learn to speak to each other in tones before we even started paper. And she taught us about battle trees. And she taught us about how our history was brought to us. And she taught us she just expanded my mind so profoundly over the 4 years I was there, as did Kendall, a theater historian, and Deborah Lubar, my performance professor. I'll always call them out because these theater professors are what brought me to this place. Because when we trace theater back, the earliest roots of theater are where? Ritual.
Ritual, yeah.
Masking, ritual. Large group, ritual. Any kind of live performance, when you follow backwards, you're just going to find yourself like we are at the retreats, around a sacred fire,
right?
Inspired, telling stories, and creating ritual. So that is the root. The root chakra of theater is actually shamanic indigenous technologies. So, to make a long story short, that's how I got here.
And I think that's important to talk about, because oftentimes, especially when I'm talking to college students, or even people who have graduated or didn't even go to college, they feel like, well, I'm going down this path, but I really want to do this. I just believe everything you do ties together, and that when you get on that true path, so you will, if you will, all of that comes together. Like, I don't think anything is wasted at all. I have a technology degree, a computer science degree, although now I focus more on business and marketing and have years in higher education. But technology, obviously, how I think, how I create, how I'm a very logical thinker sometimes, is a result of learning computer science when I was in college. So nothing is wasted. And I love the fact that theater is the root chakra. That's just great. And some of your works are out there on YouTube, right? So if people wanted to hear some of your stuff, they can go YouTube. You have a channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Geryll Robinson, my channel. Geryll Robinson.
Geryll Robinson. And if given the time, like, so if someone wanted you to come and speak for their university, or come in read a piece or poetry. Are you open to that while you're doing these soul shifting retreats, or is that something you're having to put on hold for now?
Well, it's on hold while I'm in Ecuador for the rest of this year, 2017. But as soon as I get back, of course, I'm available to speak. I'm available to, I love working with young people. I love working with high school and college age, graduate student age, that are prepared to bring from workshops to keynote speaking to, an array of topics. Yeah. So yeah, I'm available.
And what advice would you give to a young person that's in college trying to figure out their life? Any advice you would give to them?
Trust your gut. Whatever you're really good at is a lot of times we are thinking what people told us we should be good at. And I'm like, but I'm not really that good at that. That's not your personal genius. You have a personal genius. Trust and believe, like every tree, like every bird, everything, you came here with the power. The bird is not trying to be a tree. The tree is not trying to be a bird. Neither one of them are trying to be a volcano. We're all and what this new paradigm needs to help young people with is to track your own personal genius. Yeah. What are you already star-seeded? What seed, you dropped out the stars. What are you star-seeded to do? Yeah. What are your skills? And you look back and say what you were good at as a child. If you make a list of what you've always been good at, you can see what the through line is there.
Yeah.
And pursue that. And you're not wasting time. Just like you said, Stephanie, nothing's wasted. Every skill you develop is going to eventually be applied.
Yes. And so I remember when I was an academic dean working for a university here in New Orleans, I had a young man, one of our adjunct instructors, who was, very interested in naturopath. And so he's attending school in Chicago. If someone is interested in holistic healing, especially in naturopathic medicine, what school recommendations would you suggest? What school did you go to, and what would you recommend to them?
Well, I went to what at the time was called the Chicago National College of Naturopathy. And I think it's now just called the National College of Naturopathy. And so which is a natural medicine doctor that has a focus on connective tissue and nutrition.
Okay.
So my focus is very quality of life. I made that choice because, how can I like results. I like to do work that has results, and I like to get people aligned. That's what I'm good at. My strategy is helping people to get aligned. So if someone's in a lot of chronic pain, that's something that we have to help a person to get out of, because it distracts them from being able to live their lives. Yeah. So for me, I like working with food and physicality.
Okay.
I have a gift. I have a gift of touch. So when I align the spine, when I work on the nerve roots, when I work on the joint connections, I would say there's a don, as they say in Spanish. There's a gift there. So again, I was able to pursue that because of that gift. I became aware of it. There are many schools. That's the type of thing where people really have to look into what their own personal gift is, to see what angle they want to take. Right. If they're the type of person who, wants to work in a particular state, you have to check for licensure. A lot of times there's no license for natural medicine, so you just have to check and make sure that there's no restriction against your practice. Okay. And that's really something that people have to investigate. I say the apprenticeship model, which is what I offer as a teacher.
Okay.
I like the apprenticeship model. We have people who are getting their massage therapy, who have their massage therapy, young people working with us as SoulShifters who've chosen to apprentice with SoulShifting community.
Okay.
And some of these younger people that we see on the calls, they're there because they're apprenticing with us.
Yeah.
You're apprenticing with people who are, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 years old. So SoulShifting Retreat had people from age 21 to 71. Every single decade was represented. We had 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s represented at the SoulShifting Retreats. And so it's an internal apprenticeship that way.
Yeah.
We all with each other. We apprentice with the younger people, they apprentice with us, and we apprentice with our elders. It's beautiful. The apprenticeship model is really, for me, bringing that back is the most expansive way to learn how to be a healer. So that you're not just locked into strictly a linear teaching. And then you get your linear teachings. Of course, you have to develop a skill, and you have to practice crafts. Right.
And so that's definitely something I would encourage people. The apprenticeship model works. So if that's something you're interested in, go to SoulShiftingRetreats.com. Send you an email. She'll love to talk to you more about it, because it is very helpful, and we can get in at ground zero with people who are actually doing the work. You can't buy that. I mean, you can, but we'll put a price tag on it, but you really can't put a price tag on that. So let's talk about you. You love food, correct?
Yes.
So what are some of your favorite dishes? Do you have a favorite dish? Do you have a favorite dessert?
Well, dessert we know is chocolate.
She is a woman after my own heart. I am also a chocoholic.
Yes.
You can have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Like, there's just not enough chocolate in this world. In Ecuador, where you are, there's some amazing chocolate. So if you go to the retreat, you get to go and get some amazing chocolate. So chocolate, what else?
I grow a lot of cacao here. I have friends that I go visit in Calceta, and every time I sleep over their house, and I stay there quite often, I have the most amazing dreams because I'm sleeping in a cacao forest. Cacao is the plant that makes chocolate. I go to the cacao forest, and I always have the most divine dreams. I wake up illuminated.
I want to come back for so many reasons, and that's top of the list, right?
Yeah.
And so what else? What is another favorite food?
I really love vegetables, to be honest.
Really?
And yeah, there's a million things you can do with vegetables. I sometimes even will go into a raw food diet. And I have the blessing of bartering. I've bartered with many people for work and for healing work over the years. I bartered with this raw food chef for a few years. She would make me these incredible meals, and I can't make them. I mean, it's a real skill to be able to do that. Right. But they were all I felt so well taken care of when I was eating raw food.
Yeah.
I felt so easeful, and I have struggled with a lot of joint stuff since I was a teenager, actually, joint inflammation. Long story, but it's sort of how the ancestors have been pushing me to make sure I do this. What do they say? Hard head makes a soft ass. Well, they beat me down a few times to make sure I do what I'm supposed to do. But what I'm supposed to do is always, it's so unconventional. That I needed to have that push. And so I was driven towards healing, for instance, because I needed to be healed.
Right.
I was in my 20s, going back 20 years, 20 years ago, I was in a show doing theater. I was in a regular long-running show, and my back went out. And that's when I had my naturopath work on me. I had a similar experience with him that you had with me. Dr. Shafiq, brilliant man. Dr. Ali, he came in. He was so cool. He was so mellow. He was, and he just hooked me up, and I was just like, I couldn't believe him. Everything about him just had me mesmerized. And he stayed my doctor for years until he finally looked at me and said, I think you might be interested in going down to the school to see how they like you might want to do it. And I looked at him like, you think so? He was like, yeah, because I was constantly asking him questions. I didn't want to use the blood pressure cuff. I had to teach me how to take blood pressure. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? He was like, you asked too many questions. You need to go to the school. So my own pain and suffering is what ended up having me to become a natural medicine doctor.
Wow.
How we would call that an evolutionary driver. What was the negative thing coming from a dark place drove me to be able to express my own personal genius.
I love it. It always comes full circle, doesn't it? Always. So what's your favorite place to visit?
Right now it's Ecuador.
Yeah. I would have to second that. I would totally have to second that. What is something about you that most people may not know?
Something about this, quite a few things. I like to think of myself as one of mystery. Things that people may not know. I'm really in a hip hop, punk rock, avant-garde aesthetic. Let's say level culture. I mean, people who know it, but street level, punk, early hip hop. You know, I'm from Brooklyn, and you know, I was a teenager in the '80s.
Yeah.
So, real street level hip hop, punk rock, avant-garde culture is the root of how I operate. And I'm probably, you know, people like think, oh, you must be high on a pedestal, and you know, they think a lot of things about me that are not actually most comfortable in the cut.
Just right there in the cut.
With my peeps.
What's your you have siblings, correct?
Yeah.
So I have one brother.
Mm-hmm. I actually have two brothers, but I am estranged from that older brother. So, you know how sometimes families do. We never really got that brother. His mom kind of took him away.
Okay.
With my dad going back a million years, and kind of took him away. His name is Jamie. He's named for my father.
Okay.
My sister Barbara, my big sister Barbara, who's forever my reflection. Gorgeous, beautiful, visionary woman. She's 20 years older than me. She also has the gift. She has the gift of vision, the gift of healing. But because of our 20-year difference and the history of segregation in this country, she looks at me and she kind of is living through me vicariously. She's like, it's just have doors open for you that weren't open for me when I was at the same age. You know, she was born at a time when it was just straight up illegal. Yeah. Half of the black woman wanted to do was you can't do it.
Yeah.
Unless you were a phenomenal woman or had some kind of outlandish access. You know, so we reflect back and forth for each other. I get to see what I look like in 20 years all the time. And she gets to see what her alternate self, her self-time of opportunity to where she could really expand her brilliance, and she is brilliant, looks like. So I love my sister Barbara so much. If you're watching, Barbara, I love you.
Barbara.
And then I have a younger brother who is currently doing the valiant work of caretaking my mom, who's moving along in her age and is in need of, you know, being taken care of, although her health is good.
Yeah.
He is, Carl is his name, Geryll Robinson. Him and his partner are taking good care of my mom, and you know, otherwise I have a relationship with him like a little brother.
Yeah.
He's my little brother.
Right. Hi, little brother. I love it. I love it. Well, obviously, I could talk to you all day and would love it. But we're gonna wrap it up. Is there anything that you want to say? Anything to anyone? To your viewing audience?
I would really encourage, if you were called to join us for any of the soul shifting work, for you to have no fear. Just reach out.
Yeah.
We are completely accessible. We chill. We're not gonna come for you, do nothing, and we are gonna love you and embrace you.
Yeah.
Feeling that little flicker in you to show up, and you're panicking about it just seeming like, whoa, I don't know if I could do that. Just reach out.
Yeah.
I'm really open to chit-chatting with you on the phone or Skype, and you know, doing what we need to do. Secondly, show up for yourself. Really follow that personal genius.
Yes.
Show up. I can't say it enough. The biggest, most brave thing you can do is show up.
Yeah.
Show up to the work. It's always that big step of getting there, wherever there is always, when you look back, the biggest thing you did.
Yeah. And I can say for me, that was so true, because it was a leap for me to go. I was interested, but like most people, I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure. I kind of stay in my own little bubble, but I showed up and I was open to whatever would happen. And Dr. G, I never forget, she said, there are no rules, just gentle guidelines. And I went all in, and I look back, and it was the best thing I could have ever done, period, in my entire life. It was top one thing. It was everything. So show up. And so www.SoulShifting
with an S on the end,
retreats with an S.com, June 18th through the 22nd, or September 20th through the 24th, or December 18th through the 22nd in Ecuador. Just go. If you're thinking about it, put it out there. The universe will conspire to make sure you get there. And again, if you're interested in supporting some of the people who want to come and may not can afford to come, and you're willing to sponsor them, please reach out to Dr. G, and we can make that possible, make it available for people, because that is truly what community is all about. And some of you who have been blessed to make some money, it's always good to give back. So we welcome that as well. G, obviously my pleasure. Love you, miss you. I'm hoping to come in December. So to everyone who's going to go, just show up and just be, and everything else will work the way it's supposed to, and you'll get everything out of it. So love you, Dr. G, love. www.soulshiftingretreats.com. Sign up, join her on Facebook. She has a Facebook page as well. Reach out to her. She is super, super, super easy to talk to. She's everything. So love you, love you, love you, love you.
I love you too. Thank you for this opportunity and for this transmission. It's really been a pleasure and a blessing.
Thank you. Again, I am Stephanie Burns, the founder of The Business of My Art. You can join us on Facebook at The Business of My Art, or YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Business of My Art, and we're on Twitter as Business of My Art. So look forward to seeing all of you. Our next Soul Shifting series will be launched next week. We thank you and have a great day.
May the trees grow tall. May the earth be shared by all. Oh, I hear the voice of my ancestors calling me. I hear the voice of my ancestors calling me. Wake up, they say wake up, listen, 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 listen.